Bezrat Hashem. Bezrat Hashem. So now we're continuing. So essentially, this is the last pasuk of the threats and rebukes and the downside of not having the chokhmah, the wisdom of the Torah, not going in the path of the Torah, like Shlomo HaMelech taught us until now in that perek. And then he will conclude the perek with 3 psukim of highlight, right? Because right now, until now, we've been, the last psukim have been talking about the collateral damages, right? Of following the ta'ava and the chemda and the ka'as, etc. So this pasuk refers, now pasuk Yutet, to basically the last collateral damage of the of the ta'ava in general, which is chemda and ta'ava, right? So the pasuk says the following: Kol ba'eha lo yeshuvun. All who go to her, lo yeshuvun, will not return from that path. Velo yasigu orchot chaim, and they will not find, they will not reach the path of life. So once again, the Gaon basically breaks this pasuk into 2, like he did until now, and he addresses each part of the pasuk to the ta'ava and to the chemda. So he starts, Kol ba'eha lo yeshuvun, all the ones that go to it will not return. He says this is regarding the greed, the chemda. And he says, what again, definition of greed is what? When you overdo what is allowed. And now you are focused on others, and that's what drives your greed to want more, right? And all these are pleasures that are not directly physical. The ta'ava is physical. The greed is superficial. It's mental. A big bank account, a nice house, nice clothes. There's no immediate physical pleasure. So he says, Kol ba'eha lo yeshuvun. Whoever take the path of greed will never return from it. And the Gaon is very, very extreme in what he says. He says, actually in the parasha, Bishrirut libi elech, right? If a person is in the parasha Nitzavim, Bishrirut libi elech, when a person has an instinct, he says, let me follow my my heart. Let me follow my heart. And after that, I'll do tshuva. Says the Gaon Mivilna, when a person takes the path of greed, the moment the person tastes the greed, they will not be able to come back. Meaning the greed is a trap that is so paralyzing, that is so influential, that the person does not have the strength and the ability to break free from it. And he explains why. He says because the greed comes with the thrill. Yes, it's true. We explained that the person, traded Torah, menucha, serenity, and peace for what? for pain and turmoil, right? But this comes with a thrill. This comes with a high. Says the Gaon, the moment the person tastes the high, the thrill of greed, he can no longer live a life of serenity and peace. He does not understand anymore the value of it. Yes.
But so we're done. There's no coming back. He's saying.
Yes.
So there's like this frustration that.
Yes, it's a trap. It's again, that doesn't mean that the person is doomed. Yes. But on his own, and the way, and in the path as he is, the Gaon says, Lo yihu yecholim lashuv mimena. They will not be able to break free from it. Which means that when a person is driven by the jealousy, envy of what others have, they will no longer be able to live in serenity. Because their motive, their lifestyle, and their drive comes from everything that surrounds them. And since you never detach yourself from everybody, from everything, it's not possible. So you will always be tempted by your surrounding.
Incredible.
Now, another reason that the Gaon adds why it's almost impossible to break through is because that behavior comes with averot, comes with sins, comes with disgraceful actions and behavior. So all this behavior weighs on the person and basically paralyzes the person from being able to free himself and leave that path. Kol ba'eha, whoever goes in that path, lo yeshuvun, Shlomo HaMelech, they will not come back. Velo yasigu hot chayim, and they will not find the paths of life. He says this is referring to ta'ava. He says when we addressed and we said that when you give to the body, you stole from the soul. Right? When you do ta'ava, then you took away from the neshama. When we say when you give to the body, again, we're not talking about what you are supposed to do. We're talking about the ta'ava, the desire, right? So essentially, you detach yourself from life. Because what is the source of life? The source of life is the neshama, it's the Torah. And the person that has the desire leaves the path of life to take the path of the body, which is eventually going to die. So that's the path of death. That's what we say in the last shiur, right? That their house sink to death. And he says, this is what Chachamim say in the Midrash. Until you pray for the Torah to enter your stomach, pray for non-kosher food not to enter your stomach. So we see that Chachamim make a direct parallelism between the desire of food and the Torah. Right? So the Chachamim found it as polar opposites. And he says, Lo yasigu orchot chaim, they will not reach, they will not find path of life. It's not only that, it's not a destination only. Lehasig, it means also they will not understand. Says the Gaon, when a person fills his life with physical pleasures, with ta'avot, with desires, he no longer sees value and wisdom in Torah. There is no longer value to righteousness. And we see it today. Why do I have to be honorable and sacrifice myself? Let me be myself. Right? All the behavior that society is exposed to and accepted is a result of that. How can, when you take somebody that he lives his ta'ava, he lives his desires, right? And today, everything is permissible, Hashem Yishmor. And you try to talk to them a little bit about Ruhaniyut. Doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? Someone sent me today how beautiful the community of homosexuals are in Torah, and how the minyan, their minyan grow, and they took out sidurim, and they're doing Yom Kippur together, and you can join with Zoom if you're not here, and look how beautiful and magnificent, and everybody has their own path to Hashem. This is the distortion of the thought that comes from the ta'ava, that you no longer see any value in kedusha, you no longer see value in avodat Hashem. So yes, to appease your conscience and your need to have an identity, you're going to create something around spirituality, just so that you say that you're connected. But in reality, you cannot even grasp value of ruchaniyut, of spirituality, of Torah. And the answer is because of the overwhelming grasp the ta'ava, the desire has over the mind and the nefesh of a person.
Incredible.
That's Pasuk Yutet. And now the Gaon, the Shlomo HaMelech will seal the Perek, going back to the positiveness, to the added value of Torah and Chokhmah and wisdom. I have to finish with on a positive high. So after I've told you what you have to do, and what happens if you don't get what you need to get and do what you're supposed to do, now if you do it, leman, that we pasuk kaf, leman teler bederech tovim, so that you can follow and go on the path, on the way of the good, bederech, on the way of the good, ve'orchot tzaddikim tishmor, and for you to protect and keep the path of the tzaddikim, of the just. So the Gaon explained, that goes back obviously to the positive lessons that we learned in the Perek, that the Torah protects you and is a shield of protection against the bad. And for that reason, if you have the mind of the Torah and you have the practice of the Torah and you have the Chokhmat Torah, like the Chokhmah de Bina that we learned about, it creates a shield of protection of the bad. And we addressed it, Shlomo HaMelech addressed it earlier. So it's as if your behavior that is focused on the good naturally rejects the bad. So you don't have to deal with it to a certain extent, obviously. And he says the Tov, here Shlomo HaMelech focuses on the Tov and on the Tzaddik, right? The Tov, who is the Tov? Somebody good. He's somebody that does good to people. To do good means to a certain extent also not to do bad. Tzaddik, says the Gaon, is someone that does tzedakot with people and give of himself to others. There's a big difference. To do good, you can do something good to someone, but you didn't give of yourself. To do a tzaddik is someone that gives of himself for others. So he sacrifices from within to others. That's the tzaddik. And that even if the recipient is not worthy of it. So the person does not deserve, but even though I'm going to do good. And he explains why. Because the Tov is the one that will do something to please without having to dig from within and sacrifice himself in a way. So the Tov is good, obviously, but it stays superficial because he doesn't have to go and sacrifice from within and dig from within. The Tzaddik, his behavior comes from within. He's not just going to stop to do something that is superficial. He's going to go and take from within of himself and do for someone else. Again, and because it comes from within, it's irrelevant if the recipient deserves or not that behavior.
But the tzaddik has not even a thought of ra. Or am I wrong?
What do you mean?
That tzaddik has a chokhmah, bina, that he has aligned and he can control his thoughts. So I thought.
What do you mean by that?
Definition of a tzaddik is that he has control of his
yes,
mind,
yes,
mouth, and actions.
yes.
And he has, I don't know what is the tzedara of a tzaddik, but
no, that is a tzaddik as Yetzirah. But yes, he has. Yeah, it's beautiful what you say because it's exactly addressed in the next pasuk. The difference between the one that uses the sechel with the one that doesn't use the sechel, right? Actually, the one that uses the sechel is a tzaddik. So he has the ability to go and do something for someone else from within, because at the end it's good for the person, even though the person does not deserve it and it costs him something. So it comes from the sechel, it comes from the chokhmah bina v'da'at.
Okay.
The tov, when you're good with people, is you make sure you don't hurt them. You don't go out of your way to do something, but you don't hurt him. You're a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Says the guy, most people are nice people. Most people, people don't wake up in the morning to go and hurt others. They live their life. I live my life, you live your life. If I can help you and it doesn't cost me time or money, why not? But that's it. So he says, this is what he says, derech. Derech is the way. If you recall, ways are very large, right? And the path are small. The ways are large because this is what most people do. So bederech tovim, right? Leman telech bederech tovim. If you have chokhmah bina and dat, you can go on the ways of good people. Ve'orchot tzadikim tishmor, and you will be shomer, you will protect, you will cherish, you will value, you will keep close to your heart the paths, which are much more narrow. Very few people go through these paths, the path of tzaddikim, because very few are the ones that actually understand the value of sacrifice for the greater good of the other, even independently of the person's worthiness or not. And he brings a Gemara. He brings a Gemara in Baba Metzia. There's a story of Rabba Baba Chana. Baba Chanan, okay? The story goes as follows, that he commissioned people to carry his barrels of wines. And they, along the way, they broke the barrels of wines. So now they owe him money, right? He gave them, he said, what do you mean? I give you barrels of wine. So he went and he took their clothes. So they went to Rav. And they told Rav, listen, this is the situation. We have nothing. So he called the Rabbi Hanan. He said, okay, give them back their clothes. So what do you mean? That's the halacha? He says, yes, that's the halacha. Why? Because the pasuk says, Lema'an telech b'derech tovim. You should be a good guy. Don't hurt. Don't hurt them. So by what? How are you not hurting them? By leaving them with what they have. Their clothes. Give them their clothes. So then they came, the porters, the carriers, they went to Rav and they said, wait 1 second. Okay, you gave us back our clothes, but we don't have what to eat. We're poor. So Rav called back Rabbi Hanan and he says, okay, give them their wages. What? The pasuk says, Ve'ochot tzadikim tishmor. You have to hold on, you have to protect the path of tzaddikim, and you're a tzaddik. So to you, it applies. And what was the action? To give their wages, even though they broke his goods. It doesn't make any sense.
Kiddush Hashem.
More than that. It's not Kiddush Hashem. It's more than that.
They will say this
is collateral benefits. This is a halacha. Not Kiddush Hashem. This is halacha. He tells them this is because he said, right? He says, because to you, right? When he told him, is this the path? This is the halacha? He said, in. Says the guy, what do you mean? Yes, it's not the halacha. If somebody, you don't have to give them their wages, but to you, Rabbi Chana, who's a tzaddik, if you're a tzaddik, the halacha is ochot tzaddikim tishmo. You have to hold on to the path of tzaddikim, and the path of tzaddikim is what? Give of yourself, even though the other person does not deserve. So you give them their wages, even though they don't deserve, and sacrifice yourself, because they are ani and they need it to eat and survive, and you don't. This is a level of a tzaddik. And he brings a clear answer. Halacha le'maaseh, okay, gave the halacha to Rabbi Baba Hanan of what to do. So we learn from this the definition of a tzaddik. A it's basically, and you have to hold on to it because it's so precious. There's so little people that are like this, that the ones that are, let's make sure that they don't disappear. So they have to be mahmir in their ways of being tzaddikim. Essentially, every one of us has the tzaddik within ourselves. So when we have this opportunity, we have to learn to grab it and cherish it and value it and look up to it and embellish it. כי ישרים ישכנו ארץ ותמימים יוותרו בה. For the yesharim, the upright people, will yishkenu aretz, will inhabit, will live in the land, on earth. Utemimim, and the simple ones, yivatru ba, they will remain in it. So there you have the yesharim, yishkenu, will inhabit it, right? So they will build on it, and the timimim, they will remain in it. So it's more passive, right? So says the Gaon, who is the Yesharim? As we said, the Yesharim are the Baalei Sechel, the people that have Chokhmah, they have Da'at, they're wise, they're Harif, right? They're sharp. And when they go to war, they assess, they understand, they trick, they know how to analyze. Yishkenu Aretz, the Chachamim, the Yesharim are the ones that build the land. The Chachamim are the ones that know how to make the earth progress, develop. The Timimim, the ones that are more simple, he says these are the ones that are Oved Hashem, and they're not Baalei Sechel. They don't have a great mind. What they're told, they do. They don't fluctuate, they don't create, they don't foresee, they don't analyze. These people, they will remain the same. There's no change or growth expected from them. The Yashar is the one that is in constant battle. The one that has Sechel, the one that has, the dimension of the mind, will see something and will see the opposite of it, right? Will not be fearful to engage in certain ways. He can go out of his comfort zone. He's going to be challenging himself all the time. He's going to push himself to growth. So it's a dynamic individual that knows how to go and change a midah, and go on the opposite, like the Rambam says, go from one extreme to the other in order to go back to the center, right? To do that, you need to have sechel, because you have to know where you're holding. You have to understand what are the two polar opposites, which direction to go, how to go there, when to stop, learn from it, and when to go back, and how to come back, and identify the middle ground, and then consolidate the middle ground and behavior. That requires a tremendous amount of chokhmah, agility, and entrepreneurship. So these are the Yishkenu Aretz. These are the ones that build the land. This was the one that and the Temimim, you will not see that by the Temimim. The Temimim, you don't see all these things. They're in the middle. They do their things the way they're supposed to. They don't ask questions. They don't change. They don't move. They stay in their line. So these are the benefits of the Chokhmah, Binah, Vadat, and the Torah. ורשעים מארץ יכרתו, פסוק כ"ב, while the wicked, the Reshaim me'eretz yikaratu, will vanish from the earth. Ubogdim yisehu mimena, and the traders, the treacherous, yisehu mimena, will be uprooted from it. So says the Gaon, the opposite of the Yashar is the Rasha. It's the one that has exactly the same intellectual capacities, but uses it for the wrong reasons, like we said. For greed, for ta'ara, these people, yikaretu, they will never go back in the path of good. And we explained why. The trader, says the Gaon, is the opposite of the tamim. Because these people have a path and they don't think much. You put them on the path and they go there, right? So it's enough for them to have the wrong influence, and for no reason they'll stab you in the back. They don't think. So he says, when it comes to the Tamimi, we say they will remain, right? They're stagnant. They remain. The Tamimi remains. So the Boged, the treacherous, the opposite, he's also stationary. So what do you have to do? You have to uproot it, right? Something that's stationary, that's anchored, you have to uproot it. So says now the Gaon, to summarize, in the last Pesukim from Kaf and Kaf Aleph, right? למען תלך בדרך טובים, ואורחות צדיקים תשמור, כי ישרים ישכנו בארץ, תמימים והתרובה. Yes? We have four levels. We have Tov, we have Tzaddik, we have Yashar, and we have Tamim. Tov and Tzaddik are values, are traits that are Ben Adam Lachavero, right? You're Tov to someone else, you're Tzaddik with someone else. Tov is superficial. Tzaddik is from within. And he says these are the opposites of two wicked values that we found also earlier in the Perek, Derech Ra and Ishtahpuchot. The bad path and the one that always turns things around. And that these are also Ben Adam Lachavero, from within and from outside. That's regarding Tov and Tzaddik. Regarding now Yashar and Tamim, he said these are Ben Adam Lamakom, between the relationship between person and Kadosh Baruch Hu. The Yashar is from outside, and the Tam is from between. Why? Because the Yashar knows how to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu outside. He goes outside, he grows, he develops, right? So it's an interaction with his surrounding. So you serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu in an open way, in a proclaimed way. The Tam, who's not moving, who's not changing, who's not growing, is from within, right? It's quiet, it's hidden. Good. And he says these are the opposites of the Isha, Zara, and the Nochia that we address now, which is, you know, the foreign woman and the alien woman, which is also from within and from Bachutz. And he says the Torah tells you that I'm coming to protect you from all four negative values and traits that can destroy you if you know how to hold on to these four pillars: to be good, to be yashar, to be tzaddik, and tamim. Meaning it's a combination of all four that allow you to get to success and balance and stability in your life. And that's how the Gaon and Shlomo HaMelech conclude and close the second Perek B'Sha'a Tova U'Mutzlachat.